things happening this AEP, regardless of what you do. And first and foremost, your clients will change plans. You're gonna have clients that change Medicare Advantage plans. They'll change supplements because we see a huge influx in supplement changing because people are reevaluating their healthcare costs, their needs, and maybe they want to save money due to increased costs in their Part D plan.
Well, even more so this year. If you were on any of the rollouts that we did a couple weeks ago, or just any rollouts in general, you're seeing that Medicare Advantage plans are really stepping up some of their benefits and making Medicare Advantage, like UHC now, I think is going to have something like, I think Matt Carson talked about something about, or I don't, am I allowed to talk about this on this?
Yeah, go for it. You already spilled the beans.
No, I didn't. Not quite.
You can talk about generic benefits.
Okay. Well, there are going to be benefits rolling out. I don't know if I can say it or not, so I'm going to play it safe here. But there are benefits that are rolling out. They're really beefing up these benefits on Medicare Advantage really across the board. And so not just, obviously it's going to look different in different markets, but generically you can say a lot of benefits are being beefed up that are going to make it some reasons why people stay on Med Sup, especially in those rural areas. There's going to be some pretty good reasons why they might want to move over to Medicare Advantage, because Medicare Advantage is kind of taking care of some of those reasons why you might be on a Med Sup. So this year specifically, you might really want to look into that and make sure that you're talking to all of your clients, not just your Medicare Advantage clients this year. Make sure this AEP you're talking to your Medicare supplement clients as well.
Yeah, because I can promise you, if you have more than 3 clients, one of them is probably going to change plans. Again, whether it be just a Medicare Part D change or something else, you want to make sure you're there for it, that you're the one they're changing with and not changing from you, because that's going to happen. That happens every AEP. Roughly 14% of all Medicare Advantage members will change plans in any given AEP, on average over the past handful of years. And we'll talk more about that in our AEP Bootcamps coming up, which is next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that here in a second, but the first 2 are actually full. We got one more with a couple seats left. But again, we'll talk about that in a few. If you're asking about the MedSup conference, that's the 8th, 9th, and 10th in Schaumburg, ran by a separate company. We're just going to be attendees there, and we'll have a link in the post email so you can register for the free day. So again, first thing that's going to happen is AEP, your clients will change plans, or some of your clients will change plans. It's going to happen. Again, roughly 14% of your MA clients will make a change, and for the rest, it could be all over the place.
And you want to make sure that you are the one. Well, I guess this kind of segues into the second point. You want to make sure that you are the one that is talking with them, and you want to make sure that if they're changing plans, that they're changing plans with you, because they are going to be marketed to. They're already sort of marketed to. You already see these Joe Namath ads. Yep. You see all these sorts of other things. They might be getting mailers. They might see starting October 1st, they're going to, or maybe even a little bit before, they might be seeing some stuff about AEP from your competitors. So make sure that if they're changing with you, because there is not a lack of marketing going on. We get a lot of questions about those, and I'm sure that you guys do too. We all know the dangers of those Joe Namath ads. I think there was one more, someone else mentioned something. It was a lady that I didn't recognize her name, but they're seeing these things. They make it sound really easy, but we all know that those aren't necessarily numbers that they want to be calling, because they're not there. They can't do the kind of job that you can do for them.
I forgot to grab this before we started.
Was this for Megan?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, my lovely better half is on a T65 list, or Medicare list. And this came late last week, one of those business reply cards. And basically it says, message 2022 Medicare health plan update, and talks about enrolling and changing, and includes dental, vision, hearing, and gym membership benefits, yada, yada, yada. So they are starting to market now, because it was quiet. And I guarantee in AEP, she's going to get a lot more of these.
Megan's always the first to know whenever these
Yes, my lovely wife, who's younger than me, knows all about. I have a whole file at home of all the stuff she gets. I make her save it. She's like,
well, it's great for us.
Yes, it's perfect for us. So yes, she, my little Red Hat Society lady, according to Brian. Who, yeah, Brian, you are a household name in the Gatorna house now. But so they are starting to roll out now, and you should be doing the same thing. Your clients will see ads on TV, over the radio, billboards, magazine ads. They'll see ads online, both on their social media feeds and in their email. And as they're searching for Medicare, that's going to trigger a lot more ads thrown at them. If you're not contacting your clients throughout AEP, not just once, because we all know to contact them once to talk about whether they should stay on the current plan or leave their current plan and explore the market, if that's all you do, the rest of the industry is advertising all the way to December 7th and beyond in a lot of cases. So if you're just doing it once, you're giving them open carte blanche to look at every other ad. And after seeing the same ad the 7th, 8th, 9th time, it's very tempting to say, well, maybe I'll just check out what's going on there. I'll just see what's happening. And maybe I'll, you know, just do an exploratory call. Before you know it, they have a new client.
Mm-hmm. Deborah is asking, I thought they couldn't market yet.
You can't market 2022 plans.
Yeah.
But this is, 22, 20, it's generic.
Yeah.
It's just talking about 2022, but you can't talk about specific
This is a real
benefits.
gray area.
Yes,
like
this is,
bit.
some of these BRC cards are gray area, and we got Chris on here, and you can't say AEP in your ad, according to Chris, who owns Lead Concepts. He said this looks like one of his. So apparently an agent or some call center has Boone County on their radar, and guess what? We're on that list. So I'm not going to fill this out and return it. Maybe I should.
Yes, and he
Just
said
see who calls.
he said, yes, that's correct, Chris. You can't start mentioning AEP in your marketing until October 1st. Unfortunately, sometimes you might see that happening beforehand. I'm not saying always, but sometimes you do see it beforehand. This technically isn't wrong though, because it doesn't mention anything about AEP. So
yeah, and here's the kicker is, on these cards, the end user, i.e. the agent, is responsible for the compliance of these.
Yeah.
Because the mail houses could design whatever they want.
Right.
Because they're not held culpable to any misinformation because you're the one ordering the cards.
Correct.
It's kind of like buying a car and speeding. You can't sue General Motors because you got a speeding ticket. You decided to make that thing go faster. You're deciding what's going on here. They could have templates for you, but you're the end user. So if you know this card is out of compliance and you decide to order it, it's on you. It's not, you can't go back to Lead Concepts and say, hey, I custom designed this piece and it wasn't compliant, because it's not Lead Concepts' job to be compliant.
Right.
It's their job to service you, and it falls on your shoulders. So just know that we'll fall back on you.
Correct.
But if someone asked about the 14% that will change, that's for MAPD plans. So they see about 14% of all Medicare Advantage beneficiaries, or members, I should say, they will on average change plans. And that's a national average, of course. In some markets it's much more stable, and in other markets, when you have big changes, that may have a higher influx. So it all depends what's happening in your backyard. And Howard asked, what about the limitations of MAPD? Of course, that's a conversation to have about networks, about other copays and stuff they could have. But for your average healthy senior that doesn't have any huge chronic conditions, they might have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, but it's managed through, meds. And you have an MAPD could fit, and so can a supplement. A lot of people are turning towards MAPD for the extra benefits and the low cost. So yes, always have the conversation with your clients, but we are seeing an influx of MAPD enrollments, like the lovely Sadie has mentioned. But your clients will be marketed to. The third thing that's going to happen, keep this rolling, is it will end. AEP ends December 7th. It doesn't matter if your clients weren't ready. It doesn't matter if they're still shopping for plans. It ends 12/7. It does not end 12/7 for supplements, because they could switch supplements whenever they want, provided they get past underwriting guidelines, unless they have an exemption. However, for Medicare Advantage and Part D plans, that's a cutoff date for a 12/1 effective date. So if your client's like, ooh, I was on vacation, I didn't change, or I was, I had a lot on my plate and I just couldn't get to it by 12/7, CMS is not very forgiving. They're not going to be like, oh, you had a bad day, well, we'll give you an extension. No. Now, there are extensions for a lot of times for weather. We've seen that happen, hurricanes. But make sure your clients know that 12/7 is it. And some clients still think they have till the end of the year, and that's not true, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, and Chris says our mailers are always truthful and accurate and meet guidelines. Yeah, work with trusted resources. When you work with Uncle Guido's mail house, that you've never heard of, and it's really cheap, and it's cheap for a reason because they don't care about compliance. Those are going to get you in trouble. Stick with the big ones like Lead Concepts if you are looking for trusted mailers. They know what they can and can't say a lot of times, and they'll help you be compliant. Is this compliant? Yeah, it doesn't mention AEP. You can talk about 2022. You can't talk about, dental, vision, hearing, and gym benefits. That's fine. It's generic enough to pass the sniff test. So it doesn't take much to go on the other side of that. So again, work with trusted people, and they will definitely make sure you're on the right side of the law, or regulation, I should say, not law. It's not illegal to send it, but it's definitely not correct.
Sure.
Like my sense of humor. So, fourth thing, last app wins. One of the top complaints, and this goes with being marketed to and doing that. I might as well call Joe Namath and see if he wants to sign a football for me. Still, top complaint is I didn't realize I was enrolling to a different plan. That happens all the time still. They get on the phone with somebody, they're talking about the plan benefits, and your client's like, oh, that sounds good. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, I would love something like that. And they take it as, oh, you'd love something like that? We'll go ahead and enroll you. They're just having the conversation. They hang up, and 2 days later, they get a packet in the mail saying, here's your new insurance.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
That really is, that is, we just finished up a white paper actually for the top 4 compliance violations during AEP, and one of those is agents getting a violation or getting a complaint because some people might not realize that they are getting enrolled. So that sounds to me, whenever I heard that, I was like, that sounds like maybe something that wouldn't happen that often, because it sounds really malicious, and sometimes it doesn't happen maliciously. Maybe there really is, the agent means well, the client means well, there just was a disconnect in communication. That's why if you're selling over the phone, it's really important to have a recorded line, so that way you're able to help justify the integrity of what the meeting was if something like that ever comes up. But this happens more often than what you think. I mean, it is literally one of the top 4 violations during AEP. So keep this in mind. Make sure that you're communicating really, really well with your clients and they understand what's going on. Yeah.
I will give kudos to Chris Weir, because I held this up real quick and he was like, that looks like it goes back to Owasso, Oklahoma, and you are correct. Yeah, I was like, how do you know that? Because this is apparently one of his pieces. So yeah, whoever mailed in Boone County, my wife is on the list, which I want to keep. I told her, I said, stay on that list. I want to get all this stuff.
Yeah.
Stay on.
It's all over us.
Yeah, but good call, Chris. Yeah, and again, we are big fans of Lead Concepts. We get no, we're not sponsored by them. We're not, we endorse them because they do a good job, and that's it. It's not because I get a kickback. I think if he's at me at the MedSub conference, I might beat him up for a drink. But other than that, there is no actual endorsement, not endorsement. There's no connection there other than they just do a really good job. And I know that if there's a problem, they will be stand-up people and make it correct. So that's kind of people we want to work with, and that's someone that we do choose to work with, and that's why we spread their name. So there you go. And if you have other resources and stuff that you want to share with and that you do and you know do as well, please let us know. But definitely stick with Lead Concepts for your mailers, and that way you're good to go. Speaking of our webinar coming up, doing mailers, they've got a great dental piece. Now, I am a big fan of dental because dental typically has higher return.
Yes.
And my philosophy on leads is just get me in the house. Just get me in the house talking, and we could explore the conversation from there. If we're talking about dental, obviously one of the questions is, okay, what insurance do you have to see how it's going to work, and what do you have, and blah, blah, blah. So just get me in the house, and that's all, or get me on the phone, or get me in front of that prospect. That's my goal. And dental was a very easy way to do that. So check that out. We'll talk more about that, though, at 11 o'clock on our scope of appointment exploration thingamabobber. All right, so the 5th thing is going to happen. So the first thing was that your clients will change plans. You'll have some clients changing plans, not all, but there'll definitely be a handful of clients, if not more, that will change plans in AEP. They're gonna be marketed to. It will end 12/7. Last app wins. And the last thing that's definitely going to happen in AEP is that you're not going to get paid until January, because CMS does not allow MA or Part D carriers to pay commissions prior to the effective date, which we know the effective date in AEP is January 1st. So you cannot receive a commission check for any of your MA or Part D sales until after 1/1. But all your ancillary products, your hospital indemnity, your dental, vision, hearing. If you sell a cancer plan as a secondary appointment during AEP, because you may have those, or any other product, you can get paid on a regular schedule.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to keep some income up during AEP, because if you know, we got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas and all the other holidays, the winter holidays, and we got everyone's favorite Halloween, because candy is expensive.
Obviously. It really is.
It
really
is expensive.
All jokes aside.
Yeah, so you've got all these things to pay for in Q4, and you're not getting a big check until January. So make sure you're, one, planning accordingly throughout right now so you have income during AEP, and second, if you have ancillary products, that helps bolster your payments until January.
For sure. Yes.
Yes. So, let me read comments here. Yes. We talked about the AEP Bootcamp. This is basically, they're going to be smaller sessions. They cap out at 30 people. August 31st and September 1st, I just found out right before we started, are full. So September 2nd is the last day for now. If that fills up, we're talking about having a fourth one. So if you want to be part of that, go to smsteam.net, click on events, and then register for September 2nd. You can also register for the scope of appointment webinars, one today at 11 and one Thursday at a time coming near you. So make sure you check those out. Those are just, I mean, I think today's gonna be maybe 20 minutes. It's a quick topic. It's dental. It's not rocket surgery. So it's, you know, it's relatively simple, but give you some good pointers on how to bring up and offer dental to your clients and prospects in AEP and beyond. I'm a huge fan of bringing up dental, because dental is a very, very, very simple product.
It's a very simple product, especially, well, I don't want to get into it too much, but if you're trying to get your foot in the door and trying to like ease into selling more like ancillary products, dental is the very best one in our opinion to start with. So it's really easy to understand, and can serve a big chunk of your clients. But also I do want to mention on this AEP Bootcamp, just because I don't know if you did, I apologize if you did, but these are interactive. So in the past they have been in person. Last year it was just a webinar, but this year we're doing it like Zoom style. So we'll get to talk. We are webinared out. Well, we're not webinared out because we do this and we love it, but we know a lot of people are kind of tired of webinars and kind of tired of being online, because we have been for almost 2 years straight with all of COVID mess. So we kind of wanted to do a Zoom, interact with you all, hear each other's thoughts, and yeah, it's going to be very interactive. So it's going to be much different than you just sitting there and staring at a computer screen and taking notes and whatever you do with webinars. So make sure you get signed up for that the September 2nd group, because the first two are full. So, or basically full, maybe 1 or 2 spots left on all of them. So yes, make sure to get signed up for that. And then you can chit chat with Mike and Olivia, and maybe me. I'll be on.
We'll have you floating around.
Yeah, I'll be floating around. So.
Yeah, and if you don't want to interact, you could always have your webcam off. You don't have to have it. You can still do a chat like this. There'll be an ongoing chat that I think everyone will be able to read. Yeah. So it'll be interactive on the chat and verbally too. We'll let you know. We'll unmute you if you want to express or show off your cat. I mean, whatever you want to do, we're up to anything. But we will talk about pre-AEP, during AEP, and post-AEP plans, and how to truly maximize all 3 of those things.
And also marketing AEP. So like what we talked about earlier, where we were kind of like trying not to get into the weeds of AEP marketing, because there is a lot of you can do this, you can't do that. We'll be talking about AEP marketing too, which I know is one thing that's kind of a big reason why some people are registering for this, is because it can feel like kind of a gray area, or there's a lot of gray areas with that. And so we'll be talking about compliance with that and lots of other stuff, just anything to get you prepped and ready and excited for AEP.
Peek in the box real quick, and just something I would advise you doing right now is start marketing now. No, you can't market 2021 plans, but if you have clients, and I'm sure everyone on here has some amount of clients, start marketing to them now. You can start talking about annual reviews that are very generic. You can talk about ancillary products. You could just reach out and say, hey, hope you're doing well. Do you have any needs? What's going on? How are the kids? Yada, yada, yada. Start marketing now. Don't think you have to wait till 10/1. 10/1 is just when you have to wait for the 2022 benefits. You could market all year. And you have that advantage over a lot of carriers and call centers and big agencies because you have that personal relationship. So start marketing now, do the annual review letters, which if you go to the smsteam.net and you go to the AEP toolkit, there are annual review letters you could use in there all year long. So drop those this week, next week, beat the competition in the door and use your relationship and build that by marketing today. So don't wait. You should be doing that already. We're going to talk more about graphics on our Facebook Live. Last week we talked about Canva, and every week we drop a graphic in the Medicare Cafe agent group that you either download and use as is or modify and change it and put your logo on there and such. And I went 1,000 miles per hour because I was trying to cram about 8 hours worth of content in 10 minutes. So we're going to go through it again real quick and give you some further ideas on how to do those things. So because again, social media is super important. We do talk about in the AEP Bootcamps where we show you a 5-year timeline of Google and when people search for Medicare, and you can see every AEP with spikes in the Google searches, and it's grown over the past 3 years. So if you think, well, being online, my clients are online, yeah, they are. And all your prospects that are aging into Medicare are heavily invested to online searches, Amazon, Facebook. My mom's on Instagram. I'm not even on there that much.
Your competitors are online. So if you aren't marketing to people online, then your competitor is. That's just one less realm that you aren't putting yourself out there and that people aren't seeing your name. So you want to be on there because your competitor's on there.
Yes. Michelle asked, the event happening on the 7th, 8th, that's the Medicare Supplement Conference. That's a big conference taught by somebody or hosted by somebody else. Again, Google Medicare Supplement Conference and you'll find the information there. Mm-hmm. We're attendees there. So if you want to see our booth, we're going to have a senior marketing specialist booth and we're going to have a Medicare Cafe booth. So definitely check that out. Olivia has already, we've gone to these every year for the past handful of years, and Olivia knows that I like to wander. So you'll see Olivia at the booth and maybe me, because I'll be wandering around the floor. But if you do see me, stop. We do give awkward hugs for free, so check that out. And yes, market yourself always, Michelle, 100%. There you go, Brian. That is what you should be doing all year. It's not just AEP. AEP is an annual marketing period. Yeah, you have a small enrollment window, but that doesn't mean you don't talk about it all year long. Because the less your clients hear from you, the more Joe Namath looks like a better opportunity to call. Because if you're not going to engage me, at least I see Joe Namath 6 times a day, but I haven't heard from you for a year. So I'm going to just go ahead and call this Medicare helpline is what they call it, and talk to those yahoos. I'm sure they're nice people, and enroll there. And now you just lost a client. So make sure you're doing that. Yeah, and we do expect a song from you one of these days, just so you know.
From me?
Yeah, because you sing.
No, Brian's the one saying that he'll sing.
I want to see you duet.
Yeah.
I want to see it back and forth.
He said Islands in the Stream. I'll do it. I'll do it with Brian. Islands in the Stream.
All right. So
that's not a promise.
Whatever. So if you don't know, Brian's one of our regulars. He comments all the time, and half the comments we can't read because they're not safe for work. But we appreciate those comments. So if you have not safe for work comments or want to get some off your chest, fire away. We're all for it. I am very non-PC, I've been told.
Yes.
Yes. That's what the Medicare Agent Group is for. If you haven't seen that, go to Facebook, type in Medicare Cafe Group, and there is a group that's private, and we kept it private so prying eyes can't see in there like clients and prospects, and you can vent. You could talk about good things, bad things, have questions about something.
Bounce ideas off each other. Yep. Yeah. Let's see, where are the usable images posted?
Right in that group we just talked about, the Medicare Cafe Agent Group. They're in there. We call it Freebie Friday. Every Friday there's an image in there. Again, you can just download the image as is, or we give a link to the Canva template where you can modify it within Canva, of course. Again, I use Canva. I think it's very easy. It's a lot easier than Photoshop. So I'm trying to give lessons in there on how to best manipulate it for yourself, so you can just have branding graphics. So definitely check that out, Michelle. But thank you for asking. Yes. Any other questions, comments, concerns, threats, promises? Let us know. Otherwise, we're going to sign off here in a minute so we can get ready for our other webinar. But